Hi dabblers, it's Floz. Welcome back to another Flosstube video.
Wait, according to JP, you guys shouldn't be able to see this water bottle in the video. This is what I get for listening to him.
Now, as you can see, we have set up our Christmas tree, and today is 19th of December, Sunday in Victoria. I'm assuming when you're watching this, it's either just before Christmas or Christmas already come, so Merry Christmas. Now, because it's around Christmas time, I had this idea of doing a bit of a different video. So last year, I made this video public around Christmas time. It is a video of my small cross-stitch collection. I curated this collection, I guess, a few months after I started cross-stitching, or I realized I really liked cross-stitch. So it would have been, I guess, over 3-4 months since I bought my second kit. Now, I thought it would be interesting to react to my video and tell you where this collection has been. Have I touched them? Have I not? Are they in my plans at all? Because a lot of the time we buy, but then they just end up being in the cupboard and forgotten. And also it will be quite interesting to see the production quality as well, because the editing style has changed throughout the year. Well, 1 year now. I guess before I start the video also, I would just like to remind you, if you're new, that this channel belongs to both myself and my husband. I mainly do cross-stitch related videos and he does wargaming content. If you don't mind a bit of this, bit of that, well, you're welcome to join our little world here. We dabble in, a bit of everything. We also hobby together. So if that sounds pretty cool, that sounds interesting, you don't mind seeing other things on your feed, and make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button and enjoy this video, hopefully. Okay, so I will watch the video on my iPad and we'll see whether this whole setting will work.
Warning: the following content was filmed in pajamas. Enter at your own risk.
Hey guys, it's Floz and this is Flosstube. In today's video, I'm going to show you my cross-stitch collection and also talk about my very short cross-stitch history,
We have the same
pretty
setup.
much started in May this year. Okay, so the first thing up this is the pattern I got from a website in Australia called Fox Innovations. Okay, so this I think I'm waiting for you or something kit that I originally bought that started this whole cross-stitch journey has now been UFO'd. I even cut up the fabric. I kept the bit that I cross-stitched, but I used the fabric for another video where I talked about how you can start and end your cross-stitch. There's not that much to it. So I UFO'd it because as it's my first, very first cross-stitch kit, I made so many mistakes that just made the whole thing unsalvageable. So I just decided, nah, I'm not going to waste time on it because there are so many amazing things waiting for me to stitch. I actually went on to the website
So I'm just gonna
a few times before May, and then Jake leave because then you need it to Oh, and also in that video, I actually didn't mention this one. This one was the second cross stitch I ever finished. It is originally a Christmas card, but when I bought it, I was so passionate about purchasing, I didn't even realize it was just a Christmas card. So I ended up stitching it and making it into a little like a decoration. I was such a newbie that I didn't know how to iron it properly, and I just used like the double-sided tape to tape around it and used the like part of the card to make this, I guess, mat board you would call it, and bought a very cheap frame and framed it. It's actually not too bad, and I ended up trying like metallic threads, long stitch, and like beading in this little like Boty thread kit. So that taught me a lot. One of them is this one. So this is from Dimensions, the Gold Collection. It is called Aurora Cabin. Yep, I still have this. Right here. Yep, still have this kit. It's still not touched, obviously, in the original packaging. I still really like it, but unfortunately, at one point I saw a lot of people stitching this, and for me, if something is in front of my eyes way too often, I kind of just lose interest a bit more. And recently I started watching Bernadette from Burn Stitches, and she got onto my cross stitch collection video from a year ago, and she said, oh, I have this Aurora Cabin kit as well, do you want to stitch together? And I think that can happen, but I don't really plan to stitch this like that soon. So if she doesn't mind waiting, I'll be more than happy to stitch it with her. But I mean, I don't know whether I stitch as much as she, so I might not be able to catch up or like, you know, be at the same point. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm not in a hurry to stitch this one at this stage. I did not know anything about the brand. Only sometimes even on Amazon there are some fake ones copying the kits that other companies make. Yeah, the Countryside, I have it too. I'm still working on this. And there it is. Yep, there it is. I don't want to take out my frame because it's, you know, on the Larry stand, so I'll probably just insert a picture here. I'm still plugging along, although at one point I was dreading working on it because I felt a bit bored of it, and just a few days ago I started working on it again because I feel like I wasn't really working on it like not much. I haven't worked on it much, so I felt a bit guilty, so I ended up working on it for a few days, and then that kind of relit my passion towards the kit. So I kind of didn't want to stop, but then I also wanted to do something else, so yeah. So yeah, I don't know when I'll finish this one as it's quite big, and it's a bit different from what I lean towards now if I were to buy it again. So like I still like it, I just don't like it as much as when I first decided to buy the kit, I suppose. So I'm hoping this is like a legit one that this particular company made themselves. So I'm still working on it. I'll probably show you a picture somewhere here. 50 something. So then I got this pattern. Yep, the infamous wedding ride that I said I was gonna get to, but never did. Okay. Just want to check. Okay, cool. Still recording. Now I stitched this, hoping to make it into a gift for someone's wedding. And a few floss tubes ago, I said I would finish it off and do all the stuff, but I didn't because they called the wedding off. They decided to focus on getting a house first and then worry about wedding later, which is fair enough because with the pandemic, who knows. So there it is. I haven't ironed it, I haven't washed it, I haven't fixed that part either. Yeah, originally I was waiting for the final date and then I could stitch it on, but now I think I have to change the wording to like COVID can't stop love or something like that, because there's not gonna be a date anymore. I think this was the first, like very first pattern I got, but I was too worried to kit out myself, so I ended up getting the shop to kit it up for me. And I didn't realize how much it cost to kit up something, and I was very surprised that, you know, I ended up getting billed $60-$70 just to kit up this little number. But now I understand when you have nothing to start off, you want to kit up like a decent size pattern, it costs quite a bit. So it won't be too much of a surprise to me anymore. I am still a newbie, but not that newbie. Dumb mistake. Because things are dropping. I literally pop them on a chair. And this one. Okay. So yep. I have these two. So yep, I still have this kit and I am planning to start it next year. So 2022. I still really like it, even though now I don't drink as much coffee anymore because of my health conditions. If you want to know, I have made videos about that. Go check it out. It has a lot of like different kinds of coffee, and I'm hoping to finish it and like hang it in the kitchen. I guess like outside the pantry. I guess when I'm stitching it in the future, I can think about how to finish it, because I might not want to just frame it with glass. I might just want to do like a mat board and then you stick it on some kind of like a second board. I don't know what it's called. In terms of framing, I know nothing about. But yeah, I'm quite excited to start this at some point. Although, yeah, Designworks does tell you some of their thread colors run, so you have to pre-wash them before you stitch. I think especially like the dark browns or reds, like the really really strong colors. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to washing it though. So that's that. And the owl. Now that's the owl. So that's one of the ones I got kitted up with the help of the shop owner too. And that's the one. Now, if you can see, the design size is like pretty big actually. And everything here is stitched. So on a 14 count Ada, it called for like 23 skeins of this blue. So when I realized that, I suddenly lost all passion to stitch this one. Now I don't have anything else from X-squared cross stitch, and it's still a pretty cute / cool pattern, but I'm still not sure whether I'll stitch it at this stage. Now this is the 14 count Ada I got with it. This one cost me so much money. I think it was like $100 to kit it up, and it's one of those ones that I actually regretted buying. Now I think, well, $100 could get me a lot more things that I enjoy more. So I'll keep it for now and see how I go. But if I decide to stitch it, I will not stitch it on 14 count because it makes the whole size too big. I might stitch it on like 25 count, maybe, and that saves a lot of thread as well. I don't want to use 20 something skeins of blue. Yeah, so I might as well save that many skein on other projects because I do have a few coming up that use that particular color. Not a lot, but a few skeins are needed, so I will prioritize those first. Okay. Unfortunately, these skeins are something. It's ridiculous. Yep. I showed the threads in the video. This one. Yes. So before to frame it. Yeah. Make them look. Okay. So from this point, I started getting into Flosstube. And this is when I actually got into Dimensions kits. I saw this one on an Aussie website. Yep, I still have it. And that's the bookmark. I'm not sure whether I'll start this one next year. I could be, depending on how quickly I finish things. I mean, Bookmarks, everyone can use it, right? And I think it's one of those, like, a bit more complicated bookmarks too. So that would be fun. I haven't opened it or looked at the instruction. I'm hoping it had some kind of instructions to tell you how to finish a bookmark off. So right now I am working on a very silly small bookmark. It's actually like an Ada band, so the size are finished already, whereas this one's just an open 14 count Ada. I suppose I need to do some special to make your bookmarks look like the picture that's shown here, so we'll see. So I was like, we read books. Generally, their previews can't do their patterns justice. If you're interested, maybe check. Yep, the Twilight Angel. I finished already and gifted to my best friend. She is also getting married next year, and I'm stitching something else for her wedding. So I didn't stitch this Twilight Angel perfectly. I think I made a few mistakes, and I learned how to do couching, cording, doing charms, working with metallic threads, all those stuff. If I have that video or clip still, or like a picture of the finished thing, I'll put it here. I think after I finished this kit, I really liked it because if you put it a bit more far away, you don't notice the imperfections as much. And I remember telling JP, maybe I'll be crazy enough to buy the kit again and stitch one for myself and hung it up. But I don't think I'll do it. Once, to experience something once, it's good enough. Oh, right, yeah. So at the time I was still stitching it. Yep, fair enough. Base. At the same time, I heard Nora called it Mirabilia, so I had this idea of making my name using letters from Nora. Yep. Okay, I still have them. I decided to put them in like all together. So I bought these from 123. Actually, I think I bought most of these from 123 to stitch, and one of the letters was from an Aussie company. I still think it will be cool to stitch my full name. I just don't know how it can work. Now, it's pretty impressive if I hold it up like this, saying, "Ooh, can you see the whole thing?" Because my concern is everything else. So the LORINA, they're all in capital letters, whereas the F looks like small letter. I was thinking about this the other day, that if I put them together, first of all, they're slightly varying in sizes, which is okay, but just this one being so different might ruin the whole thing. So I have this ballsy idea to somehow change the design to make the F more like a capital F, but I do not know how that can work, because I don't think I'm that talented in designing, let alone somehow rearranging the B's and Kranich and all that stuff. And then I also had the idea of, like, let's say everything else will be stitched on 32 count, but the F is 28 to make it bigger. I don't know how to tackle this problem yet. If you have any ideas, or if you have experience stitching like a word with letters from Nora, let me know how you like adjust things to make sure everything looks consistent, rather than, you know, like very messy. I also do want to change the color schemes to make sure the colors reflect more of me as a person, or what I like. So I think if I decide to go with my original plan to stitch my whole name, it's gonna be a huge project. Probably not gonna be next year. Not a 2023 project, I don't think. Back in there. Although I have mentioned it will be cool to have the whole collection of the letters from Nora, or even like mermaids from Nora, or letters from mermaids, but it costs a lot, so I'm still not set on having the whole collection yet. I guess I'll see how I go with my hobby budget. I think if I put them on the same frame, it's gonna be
Too long.
and also very expensive. Because you'll need, because obviously they won't all be on the same fabric, which means you don't need to hear me ramble on that. Oh yeah, and we have mentioned this cute Merry Christmas one, so we'll skip that. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, like what I said, I got into Dimensions collection. I blame cross-stitch with Luda. I have this theory that certain crafts, depending on who you first associate the craft with, you really develop an obsession regarding, following like the person you watch's obsession.
Okay, yeah, I still have these. And I haven't started anything. So nothing's changed. I still have these. Oh, no, it won't work. Ha! Yeah, I still have them, plus this snapping kitten. The Indian peacock, Japanese garden, balloon glow, or parrot tulips will not be started 2022. However, this one will be started next year. So after this is done, it will be as a present for my sister-in-law who really likes kittens, I guess. And according to my sister-in-law, she used to have a kitten, but I'm not sure how long that was ago because she's actually disabled, so she doesn't really have like the concept of time. Anyways, she talks about her kittens quite a lot. So I thought she would like this one. Very colorful, very cute, napping on a branch. So yeah, at some point I'll be starting it next year. Originally I thought I needed to be cheered up, so this might be started like around Christmas, but I don't think that will happen now because I'm feeling okay. So I'll be happy just starting this next year.
So because she's obsessed with the vibe, will be very fun to be sister. It's but she only joined like a few days. So then I was like, wow, I really wanted to mentioned. I got onto the stash and load group, and that's probably a mistake. Although it's fun, sort of going on there once a while, once a day at least, just to see what's out there. There are some really, really good stuff on there. Sometimes normal price, sometimes for much cheaper. You might be able to find a lot of out of print things. And this is one of the things I got. So JP's step.
Okay, yes, so that's 1935 Aston Martin. I don't have the pattern anymore because I passed it on. And I finished that one as well and framed it and gifted it to my father-in-law, who pretty much like hung it up straight away on the wall. And apparently there's this perfect space on the wall that just it's as if it's made for this piece. So I think I'll put a picture here. Yeah, and I'm quite happy that I finished it. I remember stitching it and thinking, wow, this looks horrible. Like how could it look like a car? But after things were, getting completed, it looked more and more interesting. And the way it's designed, it's as if the car was like being driven outside this like border. I didn't stitch the border very well. I remember last time when I saw it, I noticed there was like one piece of the border, the black actually came off a little bit, but I guess only I or like people who are a bit more observant or like know what's cross stitch might notice it. Other people would just focus more on the car.
And my father-in-law is really into cars. Today, just to look.
Oh, I didn't realize. That one's... One second. That's
scares me because I didn't realize I purchased this like so early on. Yeah, I still have this. It is by Custom Craft called In Blue. It is one of the few angel patterns that I've got. There's something about this one that I like, and I do want to get onto this relatively quickly. If not next year, maybe like 2023. I remember contemplating whether I want to stitch it on 16 count. But then I set my mind on 16 count navy Ada, but since I then decided to stitch something else on a 16 count Ada, although not navy, I thought maybe I should change it up. So recently, I think I changed my mind. Maybe I should try 28 count even weave navy. But then I want to go to a store and actually see the 28 count navy to see how difficult it will be for me to see the holes, because there's no point buying a fabric and not being able to use it. So I haven't decided whether I want to do it on 28 count or whether I want to use like a special fabric, may it be hand dyed or pre-printed or something. Unfortunately, I don't think many people have stitched this one. It's not a very common pattern and it's out of print already. So I haven't got any inspirations regarding, you know, what it will look like if I change the fabric completely from navy to something more colorful or more galaxy-like. Oh, and also this one is actually not a full coverage. So a lot of these, I guess, blue parts within the flower is actually just normal Ada color. So I don't know what it will look like if rather than navy, it's some other colors like swirl of purple or I don't know, like lighter blue with a bit of pink. It might ruin the whole like in blue vibe, like a bit of sadness. And since I'm not starting anytime soon, I guess I still have time to debate in my mind. Let me know, what, like, do you have any advice for me? Let's say if I want to start this one, should I be conservative and just go with navy, or should I try something different and might regret it if it looks horrible? Let me know.
For people. Don't know. The PDF files that I've purchased, I might.
Okay, yeah, your stem cells. Let me drink my peppermint. Yeah, it's one of my active whips. And I have been working on it a little bit more. If you have been watching my previous videos, you would have seen this quite a few times. I have been working on this for a while. Originally, I started on 18 count black Ada, but I was having really bad time with it, so I decided to restart it on 25 count, and it's alright. I am getting close to finishing it, but I was hoping I could finish it by the end of the year a few months ago. It's not happening. I mean, look at it. There's still a lot of blank space. Even though a lot of this area will be black, still there's all these. Now I have seen people on Hate complaining about like confetti hell. This one is a lot worse. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping after this, if I stitch a Hate or another full coverage, like I won't feel as bad because I've dealt with hell already. So I guess now I'm a bit more chill regarding when I'll finish this. So this will definitely get finished next year. January or Feb, and I'll frame it probably professionally and just gift it for JP. And he said he was gonna display this on his desk at work. Maybe one day I'll go and check whether he's displayed it.
iPad, I also have some of the free ones I got from different websites, but the first one, he is so the chart.
Ramble. Oh, yep, spring will come. I will not, hopefully I would have put the screen that I'm looking on up so you can see it. I will be starting this one next year, and I have already kitted this up. So this is the one I said I want to start on 16 count Ada. I guess the actual stitch, or like the preview, is done on 14, but I think I just want to have a bit more coverage, so I decided to do it on 18. I purchased the fabric a long time ago, and recently I just kitted this one up. Because of this, it went over my hobby budget for this month, but it'll be okay next month. So yeah, I'll be starting this one. Ooh. It will be my very first artsy pattern. Not sure whether it will be my only one, but it will be exciting. And recently I have just decided that I want to personalize all my full coverage. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I want to stitch Chinese poems on all of them. Most likely will be backstitch version. However, stitching Chinese characters is a bit more different than, you know, the 26 like alphabet, because most likely you're not going to be able to find an actual chart teaching you how to stitch each character. So somehow I gotta figure that out. I want to stitch like a fitting part of a poem, maybe on the side or onto the pattern if it fits. I think especially for this one it will be so cool, because to me it looks so Chinese themed. So yeah, I'm quite excited, and I don't know how long it will take me to finish it, because I've got the other like really big, the countryside one as well, but I really want to start this.
To me, it's very taking the medicine she decides to take in the clearance pile.
Okay, a good Tike by Long Dog Samplers is one of those ones that I've never seen other people stitch. I've seen a lot of like the typical samplers, especially Pandemic. Man, so many people have stitched Pandemic. I have no interest whatsoever. So I got this one obviously because I have a greyhound, not this fawn one. As you can see, it's a black one. I originally wanted to start it like really soon, probably this year, but because I want to color convert the dog, so it stopped me from starting, because I had trouble trying to figure out how to make sure the hair color fits. I did a color conversion, mostly just changing the color to like dark brown or black, but I feel like it doesn't really look like Amy's. And then I had this idea of maybe using some kind of silk, like a black silk, or like really dark brown silk. And supposedly the silk has that sheen, and I hope would mimic like the shininess of Amy's coat. But then I thought, oh, I don't think it would be that shiny. It's not like a satin thread. So then I also had trouble like figuring out whether I should buy a completely different piece of fabric or just use like my very first hand-dyed fabric that I received with a subscription box. Actually, let me show you whether the camera can pick up. It is a very nicely hand-dyed fabric. In real life, it's a lot more blue and green. I have my reservation regarding using this piece of fabric because the colors are quite strong. But it is a like really generous size to fit this project because it's actually pretty big. And this one is a 32 count even weave. So because it's hand dyed, it's probably like 34 count or something. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to use it, but since the size is perfect and it will look like, you know, Amy is in the nature because it's like green blue, so it will probably be all right, and it's all like hemmed on the side and everything, so it will be quite nice to work on. So I've decided I will give it a go and work on this fabric. Yeah, I just haven't decided how to convert her colors yet. I have some ideas and I have been really observing, you know, what her coat looks like. This bit is a bit darker, this bit is a bit lighter. But yeah, I haven't really decided when to work on this. But she is 9 years old now, like 9 years and 1 month. And I do feel like I don't think I have that much time with her, so I probably should start it, at least finish this before she leaves us. That sounds a bit sad, but yeah, it's just I want to use something to remember her because she's our first dog. So either I'll start it somehow this year or next year and really try to get it done as soon as possible when Mimi's still with us. Yeah. So if I'm done with this, it will be completely different from the preview. The whole colors will be changed. It's daunting but exciting.
So I was looking through that, but suddenly I decided.
I think that's all. If my internet will load at all.
A huge collection, and it's always a very control your urges.
Yep, I think that's the end of my video. So that's all the charts, kits, or whatever I got. Now, keep in mind, yeah, I think I purchased all these on a whim, in probably 4 months. And I have to say, it's a lot of stuff for a newbie. So have you been surprised that a lot of the things I purchased initially are not started whatsoever or are not in my plan of starting anytime soon? It just goes to show that sometimes you buy something like just because you thought you fell in love with it at the first sight doesn't mean that love will last. Although I still like them, just not as much as I thought I would. So this is the first part of my video. And the second part I want to do, well, I want to show you what I've purchased 1 year after. So if you don't know, we actually have been having this channel for a year now. We started YouTube last year, 2021 around 2020 around, I think, November. So we filmed a few videos, but we actually made the channel public around Christmas time. So that's when people started watching, well, a few people, I guess. And yeah, now it's been over a year. And I think roughly around Christmas, December last year, I decided enough is enough. I've purchased way too much. So I decided on this hobby budget strategy, and I've been doing this for a year now. Now, the next part of this special edition video will be showing you my collection after I've been going on a diet for a year. And you can compare, you know, whether I've made better decisions, whether I've purchased a lot less, whether I've actually put in more thoughts in what I want to purchase. So I thought that would be pretty interesting. And it's quite late tonight, actually. So I actually started making this video after I did a overtime shift and went out with my colleague for dinner. So now it is 11:15. I better finish off, and I will make the second part of the video sometime later. With that one, you don't need to see my face, you need to see my reaction. I'll just show you what I got, I guess. Hopefully chronologically, but I'm not sure whether I can remember. And that's it for the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye!